can be described by Eulerian description or Lagrangian description. And my project is focused on meshless method combined with Lagrangian description, what we call SPH method. SPH is abbreviation, smooth particle hydrodynamic. And with that method, we can solve the fluid dynamic system, especially for complex problems. So we can use the numerical simulation. And then SPH method, SPH, we call it SPH. This is one code of numerical simulation that is the SPH method that made by collaboration of 4 different universities. First one is Johns Hopkins, University from the United States, University of Vigo, University of Manchester, and University of Rome. And they prove that the SPH is provide an accurate and stable result, but very expensive in computational runtime. So they make a new technology, what we call dual SPH. We combine the CPU system and GPU system. This is the website, you can visit it sometimes. And this is the difference between SPH and dual SPH. The SPH is using only the CPU. CPU is the central processing unit, like a general computer you have. But dual SPH is using CPU and GPU, GPU is graphic processing unit. So the executable file can be run on the graphic card, not only on the processor. So they combine this technology, it can be more than 20 times faster. Sorry. And then I will use later on. Please go see that's how we use. And to use this code, we need NVIDIA CUDA enable GPU card installed on PC. So we need the graphic card, the NVIDIA graphic cards installed on the PC. So hopefully you can simulate the SPH modeling with accurate, stable, and reasonable computational cost. And this is the preview of the raw SPH website. And as you can see on the paper that my research is focused on the tsunami surge along the valley. So this is one of the examples in Indonesia on Lampung. I'm zooming out. Yeah, this is the example from Indonesia. Maybe there are other samples of valley in the world. So the next chapter is the literature study. The first one is by Mohon. Firstly, SPH is implemented on astrophysics and cosmology, so they model the planets, the galaxy, and so on. But nowadays, they extend it to the other engineering fields like solid mechanics, fluid mechanics, and so on. And also in this paper, they describe the fundamentals of SPH that are using the interpolation called integral interpolant that I will explain it later. And the second one is from Dalrymple and Rogers. They propose these new 3 things. The first is new time-stepping called parallel algorithm, and they prove that it is an accurate single-step method combined with the conventional 2-step method, and then also the viscose formulation using sub-particle scaling technique combined with Shepard filter. Filtering is the initializing the density of each particle every 40 times. This is one of the examples they provided, the simulation of wave propagating through the beach. And they divided the water particle into 2 different colors. And third one is, this is it, from Gomez Desperazzi, the first part of 2-part paper. The first part only focus on theory and formulation. They propose these 3 things. The first is kernel. This is the approximation equation. They propose the quintic kernel, and then from the boundary condition treatment, they propose dynamic boundary conditions. Even though there are too many other boundary condition treatment. And the last one is the time step scheme. They propose the symplectic scheme. And also, this is the second part. They focus on efficiency and several test cases provided. The first one is cell link list. Actually, in the SPH, there are 3 steps of computation. The first one is create a neighbor particle list, and then force computation, and then the system upgrade. In the first step, when we create the neighbor list, they use the cell link list, so it's more efficient because if they want to recognize what particle will be considered for calculation at that point, so we don't have to consider all of the particle, only the particle on the grid around them. And then the second is checking the so this is the initial grid made, and when particles go out from the initial grid, they will create a new grid when the particles go out. And then the third is they propose the hardware acceleration. Parallel computation is using several computers to calculate only one case. And the GPU computation is, like I said before, they use the graphic cards. And this is one of the example, the wave propagation impact on the lighthouse. And then the other paper from Barreiro, they give you the validation, numerical force compare with analytical solution. So they model the hydrostatic model, and they calculate the total force that exerted on the wall. And analytically, the value of force is, should be over here, just be aligned. But when they simulate with numerical simulation, the force is a little bit oscillation, because in SPH we treat the fluid particle is not an incompressible fluid, but this is the weakly compressible fluid. So the fluid is not really incompressible in that case. And then also the wave propagation compared with experimental data. This is the result. You can see that the result is acceptable. Okay. And then the numerical force compared with experimental data. So the surge that impact on the structure, then we'll calculate the force exerted on the structure, and this is the result. The black line is SPH, and the gray line is the experimental data. And they also try to real case. And then the next is new multi-GPU implementation. So before that, I only use one GPU, one personal computer, but they can make a multi-GPU system, so they can simulate billions of particles. This is the video like you saw before. This is the whole wave propaganda with the oil structure. And then the SPS theory. There are so many equations, but I won't tell you in detail. It is the interpolation equation in continuous field, in continuous form. But if you want to do the numerical summation, we have to convert it into this discrete form. And this is the weighting function that we call kernel function. And this is the derivative of the kernel function. Oh, sorry, the derivative of the this approximation equations. And then the kernel function. First one is Kubik's one. It is the equation. This is the graph. This is the kernel, the blue one, and the red one is the derivative of the kernel. And then the second one is metric. This is the equation, and this is the graph. I only show you two kinds of kernel function, but there is actually too many kernel functions, but there is the most commonly used nowadays. And then momentum equation is the general momentum equation. This notation is referred to the diffusion term, and we can describe the momentum equation based on the diffusion term. And first one is we use artificial viscosity, so this is the equation. And also with laminar viscosity, this is the equation. And they also use laminar viscosity combined with subparticle scale turbulence. This is the equation, so many equations. And then the equation, continuity equation. By using this equation, we can calculate the change of density. And then equation of the this equation is to make sure that the fluid is, like I said before, the fluid is not really incompressible. So this equation makes sure that the oscillation is not too big. And then this is the equation to move the particle and the energy conservation. This is my SPH methodology. This is the research that I have been done last year. This is the flow, and divided into two parts: the upstream and downstream. And we put the gates over here, and also this is the 4 point of water high meter overflow. And then this is the building that connected directly to the load cell, so you can obtain the total force that exerted on the building. This is the side view of the flume. When the gate is opened up quickly, the water will be propagated into this direction, and the data will be recorded. And then the second one is the numerical simulation. This is the specification of personal computer that I use. The most important things is the VGA card that I use. Without this one, I can do the GPU system. And then the validation. Later on, I will be compare the numerical simulation with the experimental data, including total force and water height at 4 different observation points. This is the data that I got last year. This is the total force data. It's in the form of time rate, and this is the water height data, water height data. And this is my schedule. I plan to finish it on August. Okay, thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you for Mr. Aslami for the nice presentation, and I believe that he already elaborated all the methodology of his work and also the basic theory for his thesis very clearly. But I believe that some of you will have a question in your mind that you can ask to Mr. Aslami to get better understanding about his work. And for the question session, I would like to invite all the audience to ask everything about his work. Anyone? Yes, please.
Okay, my name is Frank. I want to ask you what the status of goal. What goal you want to achieve from this research?
And any other question?
Belum kepikiran.
Okay, thank you very much.
I'll tell you my goal is, this is it. The validations of the numerical simulation. This is a goal. By comparing the numerical simulation and experimental data. If the comparison is not acceptable, so I will change the Actually, you can see in the paper on the flow charts of my research. I'll back to the pre-processing data. The numerical estimation actually is pre-processing and running and post-processing. So if the result is not acceptable, I will back to the pre-processing process. So I will change the constant, the parameters, and so on. Just like is that clear?
If there is no validation, if you in your data, for example, in numerical simulation or experimental data, which one do you use from the two penalty?
Which one I use when the comparison is not acceptable? I don't know yet, because actually there's so many problems, including when we do the numerical simulation and also when when I did the experimental data, because so many small problems that small problem that will make the data is not how to say it, not acceptable. How to say it? So to overcome these problems, we have to do more research, and that will be maybe my next research.
How do you know this data is valid or not from the kind of thing? And what can basically from the two kind of thing is references. I mean, basically, if you your references is experimental data, the validity, you compare the numerical simulation, but it's not near to experimental data. It means which one is right or wrong?
How to say it? Actually, this data is I get by myself last year for my bachelor thesis, and how to say it? I did
Let me help you. Let me help you. Yeah, that's a very good question. Because in this kind of research, it's not very difficult actually to make sure to decide which one is correct, whether the physical model or the numerical model. But I would suggest that both of them are correct, because both of them has limitation. For example, like this one, the total force, for example, the limitation is the measurement, because the data acquisition system is not well. I would say it's not perfect. There are a lot of problems with the data acquisition system. For example, there are noises. There are also some limitation like the frequencies of the data capturing, and also probably the calibration, because the calibration is always changing. Whether you calibrate in the morning and then you calibrate in the afternoon, then the result will be different. Okay, so I would say that this is correct, but to some extent there will be some error. That's I mean acceptable. And then the numerical model, of course, the numerical model will carry some errors as well, because it is an approximation, because a lot of assumptions are taken into account, right? So in that case, there are two things that we are going to compare, but both of them are correct to some extent, but all of them are not very correct as well. So both of them are not perfectly or really correct. Both of them are wrong. Now let's see the slide. Another slide. First slide, maybe another slide which is showing the comparison of other people. Guys, I think just okay. Show me just the outline. Yes. No, not that one. Again, maybe I don't know, after this or before this one. This one. Look at this one. This is a good example of what I say, right? This is the pressure, right? This is pressure F. And the numerical model goes very high. Why? Because the computational system suggests that one particle may hit the column very hard. Okay, but here we have the physical model. It goes until approximately half of the maximum, right? Why is that? Because the physical simulation, it is averaging everything. Okay? It averaging everything. So the physical simulation is correct, but the numerical model is also correct, because if you measure only one point, then it must go to very high pressure. But if you then calculate, for example, 5 centimeter by 5 centimeter area, then you will get this one, the physical model. So which is the correct one? Both of them are correct, right? Both of them are correct. So I think this is a very difficult challenge, but we have to go to it. We have to, to take it, the challenge, so that we will improve ourselves to be able to look at a very detailed problem of the hydrodynamics force on a structure. Otherwise, we will just measuring, or we will have to do a lot of physical modeling, which is very, very expensive. I know Mr. Hafiz Aslami also said that this is very expensive simulation. Yes, because he has to simulate one case. He may have to simulate within about 30 hours, right? More than that. But that is already using the best computer available here. This is Mr. Koswandi's computer. He spent about 36 million rupiah for his computer, and Mr. Hafiz Aslami is allowed to use this computer because both of them are working, at the same subject. So this is very good collaboration between Mr. Kuswandi and Mr. Hafiz Aslami. I think that's the answer. That's no better answer than that. Sorry, but that's it. Thank you very much. Go on.
Is there anyone that have a question? I would like to yes, please. Mr. Kuswandi.
Okay, thank you. My name is Swandi. Okay, I want to ask you about your first for speech. Okay, which you choose the kind of function, and SPH method is depend of the function kernel. Okay, you choose your kind of function you use for the simulation. Okay, and the next my ask. When you choose maybe one of the function kernel, okay, how do you